It's craft fair, the second craft fair of the season, and my last craft fair. I'm only doing 2 this season. If it goes well, I might do more next season. And Forrest is here. He's like confused, he's walking in circles. And it's at a church overlooking the golf course, and you can kind of see the ocean hanging over right there, which is a pretty nice spot. I think it's cool. Gotta go get back inside because people are starting to come in and purchase things. Wish me luck. Today I did a lot better than last craft fair, which is great. Great news. It's almost the end of the craft fair. There's a few stragglers walking around. Not sure if I'll sell anymore, but fingers crossed. And then I'll start packing up soon and bring everything to the car. Okay, I finished my craft fair. It went really well, but I did have a little thing I wanted to talk about service dogs. So I messaged the church ahead of time and told them I had a service dog and asked their policy, because sometimes churches do not allow service dogs because I think they're privately owned or something like that. Religious practices don't always have to allow service dogs, whereas most other places do. And so I asked, and they said they did allow service dogs, but they had to be registered or certified. And I told her there is no like a real registration that you can do in the US, and told her the questions they could ask and gave them the website for the ADA. And she was like, okay. They were fine with that. And then I went to the craft fair, and I was shocked by how many people brought their dogs, and they did not do anything about it. So I was like, were dogs originally allowed to be there? It didn't sound like it when they told me how specific they were with their service dogs being allowed in there, trying to make sure they were like legit service dogs. So I'm like, why were they allowing people in with dogs? It wasn't really that big of a deal to me because the dogs were fairly well behaved, some of them less so, and Forrest was fine. But it was kind of annoying that they were making it more difficult for me to bring Forrest when it didn't really seem like they cared. I have no idea. It confused me, definitely. So what I noticed with my felted dogs, I mostly make felted dogs. I used to make a lot of other kind of felted animals, but those weren't selling as well. But this time they did pretty well, actually. The other animals I sold for a few deer and a few other animals like sea lions, which was cool because I hadn't really sold those before, so I might make more now that I know that they're selling, and maybe it was just the craft fairs I had gone to before and Etsy wasn't really doing it for me. But for felted dogs, I do felted dogs a lot. I sell a lot of custom, and I love doing custom, and I'm going to continue doing custom, but I can only do so many custom at a time because everyone wants their dog ready for Christmas if they're buying at this time of year, which is when I sell most of my felted animals. So I'm trying to do more that are like pre-made so they can just buy it, and but it's hard to get all the dogs because there are over 360 dog breeds. Actually, I think there's 360 recognized worldwide, and then obviously there's lots of like mutts and mixed breeds, and we're not even going to get into doodles because there's so many different colors of each dog. A lot of people asked about doodles today. No one bought any, even though I had some, because there are so many different variants. Anyway, what I found was very interesting, and it was with my bookmarks and with my felted dogs, is everyone wanted a dog that looked like their dog, which is totally fine. But how am I supposed to have 360 dog breeds? And even if I don't do all of them and just do like the most popular ones, every single color there is possible, because they might say, oh, I have a poodle, do you have a black poodle? And I'll be like, I actually did have a black poodle this time because someone asked that before and I didn't. But I have like a black poodle and a white poodle and a brown poodle. It's like there's a ton of different colors in between. How do I get all of those? So I didn't really sell that many dogs, even though some people did have the dog I had. But most of them, they were like, oh, do you have a collie? I'm like, no, I don't have a collie, because I just didn't have time to make everything. And I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Do I want to get into making as many dog breeds as possible? I might try. I don't know, that's definitely something I gotta think about. One more thing before I go inside, and yes, I moved spots. Here's my little fireplace. But anyway, Forrest did really good. He did amazing. My mom walked him a bit before because I didn't really have time to walk him ahead of time, and I really had to just like set up the booth and sit there and invite customers in and stuff, so I didn't really have time to do that. So she walked him and then brought him back, and I was fine waiting for him. And then he just slept like the entire time. There were dogs, like I said before, that had come in. Some of them, the owners were oblivious or stupid, one of the two, probably both. And they were like, oh, my dog's walking toward your dog, can they say hi? And I'm like, no, he's working. And also, you don't know my dog, how do you know he's friendly? I don't know your dog, how do I know your dog's friendly? It's like, okay, don't bring your dog over here. And so I told her no, and then she's like slowly coaxing her dog away, instead of like, as this tiny little Pekingese, and she could have just like, you know, picked it up or pulled it away. Instead she's like, oh, we're coming over here now, and the dog's like, I don't want to go over there. And I'm like, just pull your dog away from my dog. Like, he's like working, and oh my gosh. But anyway, Forrest did amazing. He did not care about the Pekingese, even though I cared. He was like, okay. Yeah, he did really good.